watching News 8.
I am pleased to welcome author Omar El Akkad to the studio, the author of the book that we have in the graphic behind us, American War. Omar, thank you for taking some time with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Omar is in town as part of Writers and Books Rochester Reads program. The book I mentioned, American War, is this year's chosen book for Rochester Reads. So let's start right there. American War, I know there's a lot to it. What can you tell us about this story?
So it's the story of a second American Civil War. It takes place about 5 or 6 decades from now. And essentially it's the story of a single family, the Chestnuts, who when we first meet them are living in southernmost Louisiana, and the war comes to their doorstep. And it's the story of what the war does to them. They're displaced, they're forced to leave their home, and it's essentially the story of what happens to this family in wartime.
What inspired the idea behind this book, the setting for this story?
So I grew up on the other side of the planet. I grew up in the Middle East. I came to Canada when I was 16. I've been living in the U.S. for the last 6 years. And one of the things I noticed about living in this part of the world is that it's very easy to look away from what's happening on the other side of the planet. And what I wanted to do was take the hallmarks of the conflicts that have defined the world in my lifetime, and these are conflicts that have overwhelmingly been fought very far away from here, and bring them as close to home as possible.
Your protagonist is a 6-year-old girl named, if I have it right, Surratt Chestnut, is that right?
That is.
How did you find her voice, given that you yourself are not a 6-year-old girl?
That's a good question. It's one to which I don't have a satisfactory answer. Once she showed up, and there's a scene at the beginning of the book where there's a 6-year-old girl and she's sitting on the front porch of her home, she's pouring honey into the knots of the wood, the panels on her front porch. That scene came to me, and with it came Surratt Chestnut. And once she showed up, everything else in the book took a back seat, and it became her story. I just knew right away that this would be the human being that everything else would revolve around.
In your answer is the seed for my next question. Your message for writers or aspiring writers, this is a window into your method. What is your message for others who want to put pen to paper and tell their story?
I think fundamentally, I mean, there's always what we go back to as writers, which is the 2 pieces of advice, you know, write, 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 and read, read, read. And that's the reason that that's the fundamental piece of advice, is because that is what works. On top of that, I would say be kind to yourself. There's a big difference between writing and getting published. Writing is a very personal thing. Getting published is a very commercial thing. A lot of bad books get published. A lot of good books don't get published. And if you happen to be in that situation, be good to yourself, because it's a very commercial thing at work, less to do with the writing.
We're so grateful for your time. Thank you for coming in. Good luck with American War as you have your time here in Rochester. We appreciate it, Omar. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Your opportunity to both get your hands on this fascinating story, American War, and to meet the author, Omar El Akkad, as well. Everything you need to know as far as his appearances now through March 29th can be found online at the Writers and Books website, wab.org/Rochester-Reads. We'll add that link to our site as well. You'll find it at rochesterfirst.com.